And it's Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business and the Marketing Club of New York. One of our favorite days of the year. We heard from Bruce Biegel of the Winterberry Group, did his annual outlook for the 17th or 18th time. Bruce, I heard different things today.
It's 18.
18.
2007 was the first one. And that was the one of the most significant transformative years. Mobile and social were brand new.
Very good. Well, you gave us an outlook, a review of 2023. Some of the things that we thought, like there was no recession. In fact, there was an economic surge in fourth quarter. Growth in ad spend and continued growth on the online digital side. What was a key thing for you?
I think the most important thing is the economy is doing better than people think. And we are absolutely seeing channel shift. While spend is going up, the story is how money moves across channels, not money moving into channels. I think that's the most important thing.
Talk a little bit about business to business, that it's become social media first, digital first. Why do you think that? Why do you see that?
It's the buyer is a different generation. The millennial buyer is a digital native. So they think differently, they get their information differently, they collaborate differently, and therefore they expect the same consumer experience in their business world. And that is forcing change on B2B. COVID was the catalyst. When you couldn't do what you were doing before, that incremental change, and you couldn't just go to an event with a bunch of salespeople, it was like a hard shift. And now we're seeing it mature.
Well, you said experiential activity. I mean, going to baseball games, going to sporting events, going to conferences, traveling, all seem to grow significantly in 2023. The airlines seem to really recover.
They did. They have to keep the service up. Fuel costs are stable, so they can hedge on that. They just have to keep the service up. People are going to be on the road. I do think vacation travel starts to slow. Like, people spent a boatload of money since the end of COVID. That slows, but business travel comes back.
Absolutely. You talked about linear TV, the big TV networks. They're trying to hold on to sports, but streaming is slowly taking some of the sports and other activities. Why do you see that? Is it being accepted?
Ultimately, it will be accepted. Nobody likes change. But remember, Peacock is still NBC. So did NBC lose sports, or did it just move to a different delivery channel, and it's the same people selling advertisements? So we just think about a subscription model as opposed to a carriage model and an ad model. And the screen, how the video gets to the screen shouldn't matter.
Very good. And you talked about a decline of several billion pieces in direct mail. A lot of us grew up in the direct mail business in the Marketing Club of New York, but a lot of us are working at home, and mail call when the postal delivery comes is a big moment of the day. What do you see about opportunities in direct mail?
I think it's no longer the big moment of the day. People don't look forward to it. They go to their mailbox because there's things in there that they need to get, and they get surprised and delighted if what's in there is engaging. So I think the opportunity is there, but it's not like we get our news elsewhere, we get our information elsewhere, we get our network is elsewhere. So people are digital first. Mail, however, performs really, really well. Why? Because you will go to that mailbox. And especially now that I can get mail and I also know what's coming in advance. I travel. So I get an email every morning from the post office telling me what's in my mailbox. I know whether to call my wife and say, could you go to the mailbox and get something out? Or it can wait till I get back.
One thing you didn't talk about, but we all grew up with catalogs. Wasn't that long ago that holiday season we get a flood of catalogs. How have those companies adapted? Have they just gone digital, do you see?
Part of the problem there is the cost of a catalog and the inventory in a catalog. The catalogs, in order to cut costs, they continued to shave pages, and their purpose went from direct order to drive online or drive to store. So the purpose of the catalog changed, and the question is, do I still spend that money on a book, or do I do a different format? So I think we're going to see format shift. away from the book, more to, here are 2 or 3 highlights to get you to that online experience or get you to that store. If I want to explore the inventory, I'm not going through pages. So it's an idea generator, but it's not going to see the volumes that it has. And the price point doesn't pay out.
Absolutely. And 2024, you talk about the impact of the election, the $17 billion that you expect to see spent, but also overseas potential conflicts, but possibly lower interest rates in mid-year. What's the key for 2024 in your mind?
Being nimble. That's what they tell you every year, is be nimble, don't be fixed. And brands have really started to put that to work. Like, what you see is there's an annual plan, but it's a quarterly budget. And that allows them to be more nimble. And frankly, with digital, you could turn it on and turn it off in a day. That is very, very different than the long strategy planning cycles we saw before.
Well, Bruce Biegel, Senior Managing Partner of the Winterberry Group, thank you for joining us at the Marketing Club of New York. And we'll look forward to all being back here next year and hearing how 2024 did.
It's a pleasure. Good to see you again, and in person.
Great to see you, Bruce. Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business and the Marketing Club of New York.